This is one video of many in a series about how to create basic block letters and make them a little bit more interesting with wavy lines. So as you can see, I started by writing the letter T in a yellow marker, and now I'm tracing around the outside with a black Sharpie flip chart marker so it's nice and bold. And there's your basic block letter. So now I'm adding some wavy lines outside of the letter on the bottom of the crossbar of the T, and then I'm on the sides of that crossbar, I created some wavy lines on the inside of the block letter, and now I'm coloring those in solid black. As I mentioned in pretty much every video, if you're creating letters to be read from a distance, it's really important that they're really bold, dark, and that often is created by using thicker lines, and which is really what I'm doing here. I'm thickening up those lines so this letter will be easier to read from a distance. Oftentimes people think that means using straight lines, but it's really a great place to get creative, and here I'm doing wavy lines instead, and as you can see, alternating inside the letter and outside the letter. So that just gives it it's more variety, more creativity. There's really a lot of room for creativity just using wavy lines with block letters. And that's part of the fun of lettering these big block letters where you have the outside of the letter and the inside of the letter to play with. So at the top of the T, the crossbar of the T, I added some more wavy lines on the inside of the letter, and on the sides and the bottom of the T, I'm doing wavy lines on the outside of the letter. There really was no plan. I had absolutely no plan before I started this, so there is no intentional pattern that I was creating. It's just kind of what felt right once I started drawing. So sometimes you may want to plan out your patterns or how you're going to make those wavy lines. Other times it's due to space. Like if you have a little bit too much space in between the letters, you may want to put those wavy lines on the outside. So there is my wavy line. You can see my wavy edge, capital T, and I noticed there were some smudges on the outside, which is what I just covered up with some lines on the outside of the T. As you can see, those lines are not perfectly straight, and that's part of the beauty of things that are hand drawn, is that they're not perfectly. Your lines are never going to be perfectly straight, and that's part of the charm and the appeal. It's a lot warmer and friendlier if they're not drawn with a ruler. So in order to make it look like you just balance out the letter, since I'm just drawing this on a page and it's a single letter, I added those lines all around, and now I'm adding some dots because I noticed there were some other smudges around and I just kind of wanted to cover them up. And the dots end up giving it kind of a confetti look, so it's a little bit more festive. So that's just something, another kind of trick you can use if your markers do smudge, which water-based markers tend to smudge quite easily. So there you go. There's a capital T with wavy edges and some kind of fun confetti effects outside. So hopefully that gives you some ideas and inspiration to go create your own.